Well, hello vinyl community, or anybody who happens to be watching this video. It's Martin here. Hope you're all doing well. So I thought it was about time I admitted to being, or was, a fairly big Madonna fan. So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to cram this into 10 minutes or not. Possibly not. All of the Madonna material, I've systematically gone back to the more latter stuff and bought them cheap on CD, the albums that I lost interest in her, which I probably would have thought was somewhere in the 2000s. I can't exactly remember whether that was a natural progression or just one of those things. I can't really remember. Anyway, so I was just thinking Richard McCook got to do the Nolans and he's going to do Boney M, and I've got lumbered with Madonna, so never mind. Yeah, I think this will take a while, but stick with me. So long before I liked Madonna, she came to Europe and did these highly amusing tracks with somebody called Otto van Werner. So this is like a re-release trying to cash in on her from '87. They were done presumably before her first album, I think. If you get a chance to listen to them, they're on YouTube. There's loads, I think. I mean, this is just a couple of tracks here. Wild Dancing, Cosmic Climb, We Are the Gods. They're absolutely hilariously bad. Not necessarily from Madonna point of view. Her vocals maybe are a bit squeaky, I suppose. But from the guy who's just, yeah, is just hilarious. Anyway, so Madonna also very famously collaborated a lot with Jelly Bean. This is a track, Sidewalk Talk, from a Jelly Bean album. Never made it onto the first Madonna album. I don't know whether it was ever in the offing, but the Madonna first album is pretty strong. This is the cover that was after the first one, and obviously it's not self-titled Madonna Madonna, it's just called The First Album. So I would have got this after the next one. I suppose it's all pretty strong, 8 tracks really. That's sort of very much early 80s disco kind of thing going on there. This would have been the first one and my introduction. This is not my original copy, which I bought on holiday tax-free in Jersey, from what I remember. This has got Into the Groove added onto it, which I don't think was on the original one. So I'd say, I suppose I should give like a star or something to try something. So I would say try like a version. I would say try the first one too. Yeah, I used to have a jigsaw of this. This was the next one that she did. This isn't my original copy. This is True Blue. This is a lot more sort of fun, I would say. Yeah, there's serious issues like Papa Don't Preach and like abortion, I suppose, is the issue, or the maybe more of the times in the 80s and stuff. And yeah, it just seems to be more fun. I don't know whether it was her halfway on the way to being a bit more adult, or where she came from. I don't really know. But the next album was a bit of a disappointment. It had 4 Madonna tracks on it, and it was from a film called Who's That Girl, which, frankly, I haven't seen it. I went to the cinema to see it with my cousin, and how old would I have been? Quite young. Old enough to go and see it, but it took a long time going on like 2 different buses and stuff. It is 87, so I would have been early teens. Yeah, I haven't seen it again, so this is just a 12-inch from the same thing. And then, was this same year, or this has got an Obi strip on it? This is same year, or roughly the same time. I think I'm doing pretty much in chronological order here. This is a remix album of all previous stuff. And in fact the only track that is different is Spotlight. They're all like sequented together, nothing that flash, but she's done that a few times, as we will come to find out. Now, was this Madonna becoming an adult album? I don't know. I suppose it probably was. This one and the surrounding albums that have been filed away for so long, all together in the right order, smells of some sort of perfume that originally some copies came with. Doesn't smell too bad. It doesn't smell like too... It might be like a sort of a patchouli sort of smell. Anyway, still had a few fun tracks on here, and I suppose this was her first more critically acclaimed album, so maybe give it a try. And obviously, like a virgin there, 12-inch. Now, she hooked up in 1990 with Warren Beatty and did this film and album, and this is actually a bit of a forgotten about album. The songs are pretty good, and it looks like she wrote most of them, so a couple of Stephen Sondheim songs as well, but this is a pretty good album. It's got Vogue on it as well. I forgot about that. Don't know if Vogue was actually in the film or not. I can't remember. I did go and see the film. It was better than Who's That Girl? Justify My Love, another newer song, just after Vogue, sorry. That's about 1990, and that came when she did her first greatest hits kind of compilation. This is with a video. Yeah, that's just a CD in there. So, controversy has never not surrounded Madonna. So in 1992 out came this album with the toe sucking back cover. This album is on a double vinyl, and this, I think it was pretty much slated when it came out, but this I would recommend going back to and trying again. It gets more and more adventurous as it goes on. Yeah, true, there's a cover version of Fever, there's Erotica, but as it goes on, yeah, it definitely gets more and more creative with rap, jazz, and I suppose in a way this was her first sort of foray into different genres. Maybe that's why it didn't go down so well, I don't know, but at least I suppose she was going to try and push the limits in her future albums. So, next one, I think, was 94, Bedtime Stories, so a bit more laid back maybe, secret, survival. This is another good sort of, what I would say, underrated album, and worthy of a try, to be honest. I have one 12-inch from this period, but it was remixed up and danced up from the album version. It was very much more slower version, and it was this one, Human Nature. And yeah, that was pretty heavy if you look at what the titles of the remixes were called and whatnot. So maybe she sort of was now deciding what way to go with her sound. She still did a ballad here called I'll Remember, from a film that I've never heard of, with honours. It was okay, and that came from this album, which I got on vinyl. This was probably the last album that I got, and then I sort of reverted a bit to CD, I suppose. This is it has I Want You with Massive Attack on it. It's called Something to Remember. So it's a compilation of ballads, a few new ones, and a few like the I'll Remember. This used to be my playground. Live to Tell, Forbidden Love, One More Chance, Rain. That was on Erotica. So that's the first half of Madonna, and now I will pause, and you'll have to wait for the next one, which I will do in a minute.